Welcome back. Moto 2 about to get underway here from Freestone Raceway in Wortham, Texas. Jason Wagon and David Bailey up here, and we've got Aaron Bates down there on the track. And of course, setting up a bike for a tough, hot race day like this, it's time for our tech report.
All right, so here in Texas, the things we're working on with the bike, I mean, obviously the temperatures are going to be the issue. So what we have is we have this diaper-looking thing, and it actually reflects the heat from the engine. It goes up under the gas tank, and you Velcro it right onto the gas tank. CV4 makes this, and it actually keeps the heat, because when the engine gets really hot, it starts getting the temperatures in the fuel, and then it starts vapor locking, so you don't want that problem. And then in the pits, we have this fuel jug here. You have little ice packs in it. You put it in the cooler, and then this keeps the fuel cool, so when you pour it in the bike, it's actually at a cooler temperature. So there's what you have here from Texas.
All right, good job by Jeremy Albright, the team manager of the Joe Gibbs Racing Yamaha team. There's his rider, Josh Grant. They're hoping that bike doesn't vapor lock. Unfortunately, Grant was penalized. Last time we raced in Northern California, we left with him winning the second moto. But watch very closely here. Here he is leading the race. Notice the flag at the inside. It's red and yellow. That means you can't jump. But unfortunately, Grant does jump, and he was penalized for that. Let's go down to Aaron with more.
AMA Pro Racing is very strict when it comes to safety issues, but they are willing for input and suggestions from their other riders. Josh Grant was penalized one position last weekend for jumping on a no jumping flag, which actually was this one. Well, what he said that he did not see the flag. So Doug Myron from the AMA, he's going to show us the brand new flag that they brought out this weekend to alleviate that problem. They've made it a bright white and red flag, very easily detectable, obviously no mistakes, and what they've tried to do is enhance the visibility of this flag. So, you know, ultimately what it's going to affect is it's going to make sure it's going to promote safety on the track for anybody that's racing or anybody around the track as well, and to alleviate any kind of problems, any kind of incidentals that could happen on the track.
All right, thanks, Aaron. That's a great report, and basically that sums it up. It's all in the mind of safety. So if the riders can view the flag a little more easily,
yeah,
it's a good move.
You know, I understand Josh's deal, and of course you're going to say that anyway, you know, but when you see a yellow flag waving, we've been seeing yellow flags waving since they were on mini bikes. So to have a little bit of red in it, there's so much going on. He had pressure, it's down the end of the day, it's a glare, all that stuff, and now there's no mistake in it. And I like the fact that they made that change so quickly. You know, it didn't have to go through a bunch of processes. It was like, that was a problem. The teams were like, hey, you need to work with us on this, and let's try to make this fair for everyone, and they did.
Yeah, and big-time racing, making a change in 7 days doesn't always happen. Our starting lineups at the top. The revs are up. Let's go racing here in Texas. Moto number 2. And it's the 800, of course, headed into the first turn first. A bunch of riders piled up. Tedesco, who was up there in Moto 1, was stuck in that pile. There you see the number 9 just getting going. So tough break for the Honda man. How about the 42 of Jake Moss? And another Australian, Dan Reardon, in third. So Australians 2 and 3 trailing Alessi. And then you got Andrew Short coming through next. And another Troy Lee designs Honda rider. That's Blows back there in 63. And look at Short trying to make moves.
Yeah, Reardon just forced his way into second place right there. That was a good move. A lot of traffic right now. Just up Chad's kind of buried in the pack. Tedesco's way back. And Andrew's got an opportunity here to try to sneak an overall win in front of his hometown crowd, but he's got to get around Reardon and Moss in this first lap. If he can't put these guys away quickly, just the way that Alessi has been doing, or probably would, then it's just going to make his job even harder. Alessi will have a lead, and I don't know if he can eat into that.
It's amazing what Mike Alessi is able to do, not just getting the starts, but how fast he can go early in the races. And they're all still using that extreme inside left-hand line into that left-hand corner. There's Alessi getting away from Dan Reardon, who's in the number 2 position. This is the best start we've seen Reardon get in the 450 class. And Reardon doing his best to try to keep Alessi in sight, as well as Jake Moss in third. And then you see Short trying to fight his way into that number 4 spot. Right now, Mike Alessi going to work. That's his office. He likes to be up front early.
Yep, I get the sense from the people around Reardon that they're going, probably right this moment, okay, now you guys are going to get to see what we've seen down in Australia.
There's Mike's girlfriend, Danielle. She's pumped, but nervous at the same time. Like we said in our first moto, we had coverage of that at allysports.com. We've seen him win a lot of races, leading early, but there have been occasions where riders have caught Mike Alessi. And last week, he led early in the first moto and crashed in the first lap. So that's why Danielle's a little concerned there on the side of the track, hoping Mike can carry this all the way down to the end. 30 minutes and 2 laps. Plenty of racing left. But right now, you see he's got the red background. That's the points leader in the series. We've got a replay here. This is what it's like off the start if you don't get the good start like Michael Alessi. Look at that. That's Tyler Bowers on the 911 down. It's crazy back there if you're not up front.
Yeah, he got away with that pretty good physically speaking. I mean, that looked like it could be a slap down, and then he'd be in the way of other riders. Man, Mike clipping that. Did he just clip that?
Clipped the Scott Banner, absolutely.
Glanced down for a second, glanced up and went, wait a second. And don't be doing the last week having the lead and crashing in the first lap. He's just like, what happened? Like, it's so weird to him that he would make a mistake. Watch his handlebars, throttle side with the front brake. Whoa!
Now you know why Danielle's on the side of the track will be more nervous than happy over this. Yeah, don't get the cameras down there.
That'd be a thumbnail missing.
Exactly. But what's missing is competition right now for Alessi. He has already pulled away big time from that huge pack of Honda riders. And like we said, it's not just the starts. It's the fact that Alessi feels like he belongs up front and he will do this type of business. Short trying to move with him. And there's Chad Reed for the first time.
Yep, Short made one of the moves, and the fact that he hasn't got around Reardon isn't as big of a deal as I thought it may be, because Reardon is flying. He's going really fast, but not as fast as Alessi up front. And I was talking about earlier in the day, how would you like to be Chad Reed and know that in order to win this championship, you're going to have to catch and pass Mike Alessi every single moment. It just wears on you, and it makes you more nervous at the start, going, man, I really, really need a start. And it makes you nervous in the race, because if he glances over off any of these jumps or going into a corner and can see a portion of the track ahead of him, he'll see how far ahead Alessi is already, and just realize, it's not like I'm that much faster than the guy. I got to be amazing right now just to even catch him, let alone pass him.
What's amazing is the rider in 5th in front of Reed. That's Ricky Dietrich. He's an off-road racer, enduro-cross champ, former works champ. He is basically riding Tim Ferry's bike today. He's a guest rider with the factory Kawasaki effort, and what a performance as a guest in the top 10 in Moto number 1 and in the top 5 in Moto 2. And there's Tim Ferry watching the rider on his bike, and 5th ain't too bad for a guy who's supposed to be out racing in the desert.
Considering the health that Ferry's had, he's probably looking at this performance from Dietrich going, wow, that's better than I could do for the time being anyway. I mean, 7th in the first moto, and up here right now leading Chad Reed. I talked about earlier, he must be in heaven right now, and if that could get any better, it just did.
Well, Dietrich has an off-road race scheduled next Sunday, but he has told Kawasaki he's willing to race at our next round at High Point, Pennsylvania on Saturday and fly the red-eye out to Washington State to race the off-road race on Sunday. Let's go down to Aaron. He's got a report on Tim Ferry. Aaron?
Well, guys, Tim Ferry is sitting right here on the sidelines watching his replacement rider, Ricky Dietrich, up there. Tim, how did this come about? Do you know Ricky, and what are your standards for him?
I don't know Ricky that well, but obviously he did good at Glen Helen, won moto, and he's a Kawasaki guy, so he did really good the first moto, 7th. I think that's awesome, and running in 5th right now. So
we see you sitting here on the sidelines. When can we expect to see you back?
Right now, it's just kind of week to week. I'm definitely not going to be back from Mount Morris. We're going to start doing some riding again next week and try to get healthy and get back up front again.
Get yourself healed up. We look forward to seeing you back.
All right, thanks, Aaron. That's tough. Tim Ferry, a fan favorite out here. He carries the flag for veteran riders over 30 years old. Just a lot of bad luck this year with injuries. Good move by Kawasaki to pick up Dietrich. They've also got Brandon Jessamine in the field, who's riding Villapoto's bike, so they've got sponsors and they need to represent for them. And Dietrich definitely doing that right now, giving him some TV time running in the top 5, and I don't see the challenge from Chad Reed right now.
No, and he's probably, I'm wondering, Jason, I have a feeling that Chad is probably surprised right now, and man, I thought that I was going to be able to come into this outdoor season without really putting that much emphasis in it and testing and all that, and maybe not beat Villapoto, but pretty much handle the rest. And I know Mike Alessi's story, he's fast off the gate, but I'll catch him eventually. And man, it's not coming together. 5th the first moto with the fall. He's looking at the back of a 3-digit guy going, who the heck is this guy ahead of me right now?
You might not really know who that is.
Endurocross or something? Should he be in the desert right now? I mean, it's, I don't know if, talking about Chad finding his speed is I'm not sure. I can't trust myself. Is that hope, or is that because I really think he's going to? It's for sure a little bit of both.
Yeah, everyone wants to see Reed mix it up with Alessi and these guys up front, but he's struggling right now in 6th. But we're just getting started here from Texas. Stay with us on Speed.